I'd like to start with what an annual meeting is all about. Although an annual town meeting is convened and chaired by the Town Council, it's not a Town Council meeting, but it's a meeting of registered electors. And it's got to be held between the 1st of March and the 1st of June, and the chairman of the Town Council should preside. It's an opportunity for the local electorate to raise local issues. So let's get straight into our review and consider our performance over the last 12 months. And some of the more significant initiatives that we have either delivered already or are driving forward include support for Cricklade Bloomers towards the town's success as Champion of Champions in the Britain in Bloom competition, the development of the town centre car park, preparations for celebrating the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, supporting the work of the Cricklade Town Plan Steering Group, and working with the Shadow Community Operations Board on the issue of local services. And I'd like to spend a few minutes on each of the above topics. What a wonderful result in the RHS Britain in Bloom competition. It literally put us on the map, the weather map at least. The result was, of course, down to a great deal of hard work, teamwork. And the partnership between Cricklade Bloomers and the Town Council was essential in obtaining the result that we did. And I'm not wanting to play down the work of Cricklade Bloomers, far from it, or for that matter, all the other groups who also contributed. It wouldn't have happened without their sterling efforts. But this evening it's appropriate for me to say just a few words about the Town Council contribution. The Town Council contributes in 3 ways: financially through the grant scheme and our own budgets for flowers, planting, etc. Also the support of our grounds team, ably led by David Osborne. And of course the support from the office. And I'd particularly like to pick out Shelley, who has time and again sourced the publicity and drafting quite outstanding press releases, and who led the coordination here in Cricklade following the announcement of the result up at St Andrews. The result reflects what Cricklade is good at: community involvement. And for those who have not seen it, then I'd urge you to have a look at the portfolio that was put together by John Barrett as part of the entry. And this exemplifies the partnership theme to it all, as well as documenting the sheer scale of the work involved. The Town Council are keen to build on our success and to use the accolade in enhancing Cricklade as a tourist attraction. We've already had lots of reasons for visitors to come and visit Cricklade, but this is yet another. And so a working party, which includes representation from the Business Association and from Bloomers, was formed under the leadership of Councillor Mark Clark to try and increase the numbers of tourists to our town. It's very much work in progress, and the budget is limited, but I know that the working party members have put together an action list and are working hard to bring about small changes, all aimed at enhancing our proposition. Let's move on to the town centre car park. The delivery of the car park has been a major achievement of the Town Council in 2011. And I think it needs a few comments from me to put into context what has been a long and difficult saga. The land at the back of the club was originally bought by Cricklade Town Council in 1957, some 55 years ago. There then followed many years of inactivity, intermingled with debate and discussions with various parties as to how the land could be used. Throughout, the primary focus was always on the potential for increased car parking. However, in 1991, some 34 years after acquiring the land, there was a public meeting where a mandate was given for part of the land to be sold for a doctor's surgery. And the club gave access rights to the doctor's surgery, and part of the land was then sold to the doctors in 1992. From 1991 right through to 2000, negotiations continued with the club management for access rights to the remaining town council land. And attempts to mediate in these difficult discussions were made by the Cricklade Action Partnership and the Town Centre Management Partnership, and all attempts were sadly unsuccessful. In 2000, the then North Wiltshire District Council helped draw up some detailed plans for the development of the area as a car park. And recognising the importance of this development to Cricklade, they allocated some £10,000 in funding towards it. The following year, there was again a public meeting held with strong support for the plans and continuing the negotiations. The Town Council continued to try and negotiate rights of access to the land for a further 7 years. During that 7-year period, the Town Council considered compulsory purchase of the land, taking legal advice from North Wiltshire District Council at the time. And in the end, this was not taken forward, but because of the lack of progress on the car park, the funding that North Wiltshire District Council had granted was withdrawn. So in 2008, things were looking very bleak. 3 things, however, have happened since then that have resulted in the delivery of the car park. That's been the aspirations of many people here in Cricklade. And these were, first, that the club came under new management, and Cllr was happy to negotiate a lease. And in just over a year, a 125-year lease was successfully negotiated and signed by both parties. This then meant that the Town Council could look for funding streams. In the end, it simply wasn't possible to find the required funding from external sources. And that brings me to the second major event that has made the car park possible. Just over a year ago, the Town Council carried out a survey of Cricklade residents who overwhelmingly supported the proposal that the Town Council should take out a loan to raise the necessary finance to deliver the car park. Of those that returned the survey, some 77.5% of residents voted for an increase in their council tax, which was needed to fund the repayments on a loan of £140,000. This underlined the importance of this issue to the residents of the town, as had been clear from the various public meetings in the past. The last piece of the jigsaw was the help we received from Tesco, and like everyone else, they were unable to help us with a cash donation towards the development of the car park. But instead, they stepped forward to support us by providing professional project management and also quantity surveying and architectural services. And all of that was free of charge. This saved the town a substantial amount of money, and in the end has proved to be invaluable. So the car park would not have happened without these 3 events taking place. And I'd like, once again, to put on record my personal thanks on behalf of the community to Cllr, the owner of the club, to the vast majority of the residents of Cricklade who supported the development of the car park, and to Tesco's for their support. A few words now about the Diamond Jubilee. The Town Council have worked hard on preparing for the Diamond Jubilee, and a working party was created in 2011, tasked with arranging the Diamond Jubilee celebrations here in Cricklade. It didn't take them long to agree that the most fitting way to mark the event would be to complete the Saxon's Rest community garden with a mosaic. It was always intended that a centrepiece to the garden would be a 12-foot diameter mosaic, but rather than delaying the opening of the garden to accommodate the mosaic, it was agreed that this element of the design would would be phase 2 of the development. Councillors felt that as 2012 is the Queen's Diamond Jubilee year, a commemorative mosaic would be a fitting tribute for this significant event. The mosaic would be at the heart of the town, and along with the Jubilee clock, installed to mark Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee in 1897, would be a lasting legacy for future generations. Working with Debbie Sterling, a local mosaic artist from Cirencester, who was appointed by the Town Council to design and build the mosaic, the Cricklade Art Group were invited to submit designs. And several designs were considered by the Town Council, and one of the designs was selected subject to 1 or 2 minor modifications and was then approved by the Town Council. The design incorporates the town motto, in loco delicioso, in other words, in a delightful place. It also incorporates the town crest, surrounded by fritillaries, for which Cricklade is famous, together with an element of Saxon artwork in the border. Anne Jelly, who's treasurer of the Cricklade Art Group, designed the fritillaries incorporated in the mosaic, and following a conversation with Anita Barrett from Cricklade Bloomers, Anne incorporated a bee into the design as they're essential for the survival of the flowers. Ed Muir, also a Cricklade Art Group member, designed the Saxon border on either side of the wording. The mosaic is still being put together, but as you can see, it looks as though the mosaic will indeed be a lasting legacy that we can all be proud of. The mosaic design has been used as a theme for the celebrations and will be found on cast stickers, postcards, banners up and down the High Street, a new flag to be flown at Saxon's Rest during the Diamond Jubilee, and some of the specially commissioned commemorative items. And these include a special edition Royal Worcester commemorative plate. Only 500 have been commissioned, and each comes with a limited edition certificate. Some Cricklade celebration wine, especially labelled white Wiltshire wine, the 2010 Pinot Auxerrois, produced by A. Beckett's vineyard at Littleton Pennell in Devizes. And a booklet, Coronation Revealed, a commemorative booklet featuring Cricklade's memories of the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. The Town Council will be holding a competition for premises up and down the High Street to dress their front windows with the Diamond Jubilee theme, and that'll run from Monday the 21st of May through to the date of the Cricklade Festival. The mosaic will be unveiled on Thursday the 31st of May. Cricklade Leisure Centre Jubilee Picnic in the Park is going to take place on the afternoon of Saturday the 2nd of June. And a special ecumenical church service has been arranged for Sunday the 3rd of June to celebrate the Diamond Jubilee with wide representation from across the town, followed by the big Jubilee lunch barbecue in the grounds of St Sampson's Church. The Manorial Court of the 100 and Borough of Cricklade, the only remaining active manorial court in Wiltshire, will celebrate the event on Monday the 4th of June, with a Jubilee Beacon Ball, followed by the lighting of the Jubilee Beacon, one of 2012 officially registered beacons up and down the country. The court is also organising the issuing of specially designed commemorative mugs to the children of Cricklade. On the 17th of June is the Cricklade Festival, which also features a Diamond Jubilee theme this year, Diamond Day Out. On Friday the 22nd of June, our community choir, Sing for Four, will be holding their Jubilee concert. And on Saturday the 30th of June, the British Legion are holding their Diamond Jubilee Gala dinner. So, I think, as you can see, it's a pretty full Diamond Jubilee agenda. The last 2 items that I want to talk about are all about our future. And the first of these is planning. For the last 2 years, I've mentioned about the importance of the community delivering a town plan. And some of you will remember this slide. Last year I said that a town plan steering group had been formed under the leadership of Jim Muir with the help of Community First. Funding had been made available by the area board and also by the town council, and the group has now drafted a town plan which describes the aspirations for the next 10 to 15 years for our town. It lays out the key infrastructure and services and where they would like to see them develop. The first consultation draft was published in February, and the consultation period that followed allowed residents to input their views and their thoughts. And there'll be more on this later on in the agenda. But the reason why this is so important are the new planning laws which came into being in March this year. The Town Council are working with the wider community area on a neighbourhood plan. And we hope that the output from the town plan will be capable of being fed into the neighbourhood plan, which will carry weight with the planning authority. And I said it last year, and I'll repeat it again this year. This is vitally important work, and properly done, should help shape Cricklade's future. Another consultation that was carried out in 2011 was the campus model originally proposed by Wiltshire Council, but being taken forward by the community-led Cricklade Shadow Community Operations Board. The main points to note are that based on 2 rounds of consultation, there will be 2 locations from which services will be delivered: the leisure centre and the high street. There was support for both the hospitals and the police station as the high street location, and there was strong views on not losing Ockwells. And from what we know, Ockwells is not under threat, and there's no pressure on the Town Council to move, regardless of the final decision on the campus high street location. Currently, design and feasibility studies are being done that will finalise the high street location for the extra services that are needed and determine what level of funding the upgrading of the leisure centre and high street facilities are likely to need. Cricklade Town Council and the leisure centre management will be involved in reviewing the design proposals prior to September, when a financial proposal will go to Wiltshire Council. And they'll look at the very long-term situation in taking a decision. And once the final proposal is complete, there'll be more general consultation before any final commitments made. And this really could be very good for the town, with investment and upgrading of our facilities, so that they're fit not just for now, but for the next generation. The Cricklade Shadow Co is also leading on the work being done on a 40 to 45 unit extra care facility, which is in the very early stages. And this should bring additional accommodation for people needing more support, and it may also generate extra jobs locally. So that covers what I've termed the Big Five, but just a brief word or two on some of the other things that we've been doing during 2011-12. We provided financial support to 10 organisations amounting to £11,027. The total amount awarded is similar to the amount that we awarded in the previous year, but is spread over more organisations. The main beneficiaries in terms of the size of the grants awarded were the Leisure Centre, who received £4,000 from the Town Council, the Cricklade Town Festival, who received £1,250, and the Cricket Club, Cricklade Bloomers, Jenner Hall, and St Sampson's Lighting Appeal, who all were awarded £1,000. The Town Council has worked throughout the year, often in partnership with others, to support various community events and initiatives. The Cricklade Festival, Cricklade in Bloom, and Children's in Bloom competitions, the lighting, the Remembrance Sunday Parade, and the development of a heritage trail through the town. And these partnership activities, where we often provide more of a support role, reflect the strong community spirit that exists within the town. And we also provide ongoing support for community-led initiatives such as Speed Watch, Fair Trade and the Credit Union. Let's move on to personnel and start with a team of councillors. Here they are. This is your team of unpaid volunteers who work on your behalf. And most of your councillors also work as volunteers with various community groups in Cricklade. In fact, there is town council representation on over 20 different community groups, often taking on the onerous responsibilities of being one of the trustees. To this should be added the many different events where councillors choose to involve themselves. Take, for example, the clean-up day at Cllr. And this is just one of the very many ways in which your councillors choose to make a personal contribution over and above the day-to-day responsibilities they have of attending meetings and taking decisions on behalf of the community. The council team has changed over the last year, and during the year we co-opted 3 new councillors from 10 applicants and welcomed John Harmer, Angela Jensen and Julie Norman to the council table. Sadly, we lost Brian Atfield to pancreatic cancer at the very beginning of June last year. Brian served the Cricklade community for many, many years in various ways. He was a Wiltshire County councillor, chairman of North Wilts District Council on 2 separate occasions, and has served on Cricklade Town Council for many years, including a period as vice chairman of the council. Brian would always be the first to champion causes on behalf of Cricklade, and he involved himself in the community in many other ways. And one of the projects of which he was a prime mover was the development of Saxon's Rest, and he'll be long remembered for his willingness to represent the town and to get involved. There were few town council working parties where Brian's name did not feature. And in recognition of his contribution to Cricklade, he was made a freeman of the town in 2009. He's a sad loss to the town council and also the wider community. The vacancy caused by Brian's death was filled by co-option once again, and we welcomed Emma Jane Brard to the council table. Emma has the honour of being our youngest councillor, and with 8 females and 7 males, Emma's appointment finally tilted the balance in favour of the ladies. All councillors received training last year, and we're well placed for the next 12 months. However, I need to mention that in 2013 there will be local council elections taking place. And I would urge everyone to consider becoming a councillor and continuing the work to make Cricklade a place that everyone envies. It's been a while since we've had to have elections, and 2013 is our chance to make that a reality. The real driving force behind your team of councillors are our employees, led by Shelley Parker, and they're the team who implement the decisions of the council. And this slide shows the current staffing structure. Many of you will know their faces, of course. Shelley has been in her role of town clerk now for just under 3 years, and in this time has made and continues to make a real difference. This year she's been a driving force behind delivering the town centre car park, and her enthusiasm, persistence, project management and people service show through in everything she touches. I know through my day-to-day contact with everyone just how highly regarded Shelley is. Cricklade is very fortunate indeed to have her as their town clerk. In terms of staffing, little has changed over the last 12 months. And we were sad to see Carol Nash go, but delighted to have been able to recruit Helen Baker as our front office administrator. It has, however, been yet another year of stability in the office team, and one that shows through in the work that they do. If I focus for a moment on the front office, the front office provides help to the community, listens to their views and deals with complaints, and provides services like sending faxes, photocopying and laminating. And we get a wide range of inquiries, from potholes, bus passes and faulty street lights, bus timetables. I got asked for one on just the other day actually, planning regulations and the best walks and all sorts of other inquiries. During the year we decided to open the office a little later of a morning at 10 o'clock, but to remain open at lunchtimes, and also to open on a Saturday morning during our busier periods such as the fritillary season. This seems to have been well received. And the Town Council have also taken the step of having a presence on Facebook and Twitter. Now I know that not everyone is involved in these platforms for social engagement, but a surprising number of people are. Almost half the UK population has a Facebook account, and of these, some 40% are by people who are over the age of 35. So it isn't just youngsters. And the Town Council took its first tentative steps in this direction in January this year, and now has over 330 Facebook friends and is actively engaging with the community in a way that I believe benefits everyone. In the last 12 months, we've dealt with some 3,344 front office inquiries, and as you can see, the vast majority are Town Council related inquiries, although it's fair to say that we deal with a considerable number of Wiltshire Council and tourism inquiries as well. And the following tables will give you an idea of the breadth of work that the front office undertakes. Turning to our ground staff, the work carried out by our groundsmen, David Osborne and Michael Shears, continues to be excellent. It continually amazes me just how much work they get through in a year. But they need support during the summer months, and we once again welcome back Jim Taylor, who provides that much needed additional cover. We're fortunate to have such dedicated individuals, and they'll often be seen around the town, cutting the grass, removing the litter, watering plants, removing graffiti, and generally helping to make Cricklade such a pleasant place to live. They, in no small way, have helped in our efforts in the National Britain in Bloom competition. My thanks go to them for all of their efforts. And incidentally, just in case you didn't know, in the last year our ground staff collected over 1,400 bags of litter. They carried out more than 260 health and safety checks on our children's play areas. They cut 17 Cricklade Town Council green sites on a 2-weekly cycle. They planted 286 separate plants in the new car park and laid 186 metres of landscape fabric to protect the soil and to retain the moisture. And they used 360 metres of string line for the stringers. That's enough from me for the moment, and I'd like to hand on to Gina Chapman, who will talk to you about the work of the planning committee.